like their back is up against the wall at this point. This is a home game. You don't want to go on the road with a chance of getting eliminated. That home crowd knows that. They're going to have a chance to kind of get behind them a little bit. And I always feel like if you lost the last game, you have a little bit of an advantage because now it's your turn to make the adjustments and the other team doesn't know what to expect out of that. You got a chance to see San Antonio make some new moves defensively. They really kind of forced Shea to try and do a lot more with the limited ball handlers that they had out there for OKC last game. Now we're going to see how the Thunder counter that. What's their options going to be going to? And again, being at home feels like a must-win a little bit for OKC tonight.
Yeah, here we go again, right? I mean, a Game 4 loss, responding to that is a little bit different than responding to a Game 1 loss. It's the urgency, like you said. I think the players are going to come out, their backs are against the wall. They're going to play a lot better. But I think the fans, they're going to have that pent-up energy right there with them. So I think that they're going to play a big role in tonight's game. I have no doubt they're going to bring the energy and that this is just going to be another fantastic game. I don't see a blowout. I think this is going to be a little more entertaining.
It's always fascinating the way people view series because of the order in which the wins maybe happen. Like if the Thunder had won 2 at home and then the Spurs win 2 at home, it's a completely different perspective going into Game 5 tonight than splitting the way they did and then splitting the second 2. Or I thought, especially with the Thunder losing Game 1, people massively overreacted to the Game 1 loss, but if the Thunder had won Game 1 and lost Game 2, people wouldn't have overreacted nearly as much. And then the Thunder winning 2 in a row, stealing back home court advantage, there was a big sway back the other way. Maybe the Thunder could win in a gentleman's sweep. The overreactions game to game are always, I think, a crazy type thing for the NBA fan base in a 7-game series, but the order in which wins happen always plays a big role in how people perceive what the next game is going to look like.
Yeah, if you had just switched Game 3 and Game 4, we'd have a very different feeling coming into this game. The simple fact that you look at Game 3, they're down 15-0. They pick up all the momentum in the world, and they dominated the rest of the game after the first 6 minutes. You'd feel really well about as an OKC fan coming into this thing. Instead, it looked like the Spurs figured something out defensively, really got their clamps down, and now, you've got to try and find a way to come up with a few adjustments. But the bottom line is it's 2-2. Like that, no matter how you break up any of those games, that's what the message has to be. You have to flush whatever happened in Game 4 and come out and realize, okay, this is what they're doing to us now. This is how we need to attack it, and you got to make those adjustments.
Game 4 was a bit of a new perspective setter for me. You talk about overreactions. I was surprised by how Game 4 went because, as we had talked about a little bit, we thought that this playoff experience would start to show that maybe San Antonio, their physicality would start to take a toll on them, maybe, slow them down a little bit more. That didn't happen. And so to see that this is still very much a team that is going to come out and make the Thunder work for every bit of it, I mean, it's a nerve-wracking place to be, but fun basketball to watch.
A lot went wrong for the Thunder in Game 4, and I think you got to start with the offense, and they talked about it after the game.
We left a lot to be desired on that end of the floor tonight. We didn't have the sharpness, force, or precision necessary to crack them, and they were really good defensively. Just their energy, their physicality, as coming in, they're down. And they're at home, and you can kind of expect that, but it's different when you're out there. So credit them. They outplayed us tonight. But the group we had can play a lot better than we played tonight as well. So.
Yeah, they just punched us in our face early. It's 2 games in a row. They've come out the aggressors. Last game we were able to course correct. Tonight, we just didn't do so. Yeah, we gotta do a better job of starting the games. Obviously, it's a little bit more challenging when you're on the road, and we know that. But we got to go out there and do it if we wanna win games, especially against a team that good. They were in us, forcing turnovers, being physical, and I don't think we applied the pressure back. And then they're playing fast, getting easy buckets. They get their defense set, and I don't care who you play, it's always harder to score against a set defense. So it's just it's a snowball effect. But it always starts with the aggression that you play with, and then they brought it on a way higher level than we did for most of the game.
We can't just bank on things going our way, the ball bouncing our way, shots going in. We got to figure out how to win the game with things that we can control, and then go out and do it.
It wasn't our night, but at the same time, we could have been a lot better, and we need to be a lot better in Game 5 if we want to compete in the game.
The overall theme of this series has been physicality and aggression. The team that has been more physical and more aggressive has won all 4 games. For the Thunder, they were that team in games 2 and 3. For the Spurs, they were that team in games 1, at least the first 5 minutes of game 3, and then game 4 completely. Game 5, again, you would expect that the urgency is on the Thunder side. But, I mean, the team that is going to play tougher, people talk about the whistle, the team that is going to play tougher is going to be the beneficiary of a friendlier whistle than the opposing side.
Yeah, absolutely. You always get those calls when you're as a team playing with the energy. It tends to go your way, basically. And if you have the point of attack defenders that both teams have, and you got, first of all, no one should blame the players for the way that the games are officiated.
Right.
It is your job as a player to figure out in what way that game is going to be called, and then push it to the limit and play as aggressive as you possibly can the entire way. Set the tempo as much as you possibly can. It has gone, you know, whichever game it's gone in favor of whoever has set that tempo. That's going to be the deciding factor probably again tonight, who decides to kind of be the more physical team at the point of attack. It really threw off SGA last game. They were really able to kind of control the tempo of the game. Can he adjust to it a little bit? Can they flip the script on the other end as well and kind of be the team that gets into you a little bit defensively?
You talk about the energy. I think out of all of the playoff games we have seen out of the Thunder so far, I thought game 4 was probably, like, they looked the most uninspired. It kind of felt, I mean, there were times where they put together some good runs and they still looked good. I just think in terms of, it wasn't any sort of quit. I think towards the later side, they kind of realized how the game was going to go.
Sure.
So I think you can't have that. They know that. I expect a much more energetic look. Again, it's a back against the wall kind of situation. But yeah, I really think everything about game 4 was just an uncharacteristic thing that we are unlikely to see again.
It was very representative of last postseason where they had just a complete dud and were outworked once in every series of last postseason. They've been able to avoid that so far this postseason. We'll see if that's the outlier for the remainder of this series. Spencer, you mentioned SGA. You know, he's seen a ton of different coverages and a lot of so far this the way Marcus Smart defended him with the Lakers, and obviously Stephon Castle and his physicality in this series. They aren't doubling him as much, at least in game 4 they didn't, and they allowed him more one-on-one opportunities. They're still helping once he starts to be aggressive, but I'm curious to see how he's going to handle that tonight if San Antonio gives him the same look. He's so good on his own at making those adjustments depending on how people, you know, I guess face him and give help side defense, give him opportunities to kick out. I would expect that we see a much sharper SGA.
That was the adjustment that the Spurs had to make after game 3. I mean, they were sending doubles at Shea, and it led to practice shots for the rest of the guys. And you saw so many people, Jalen Williams, connect on so many threes. It kind of just stretched the court. The role players ended up being the players that pulled that game away for him. You go to game 4, you end up saying, we're going to stay out on the role players. We're going to force Shea to beat us at the point of attack and be the guy that creates everything, knowing that they're also short 2 of their point of attack offensive players with Jalen Williams, who was out in that game. And knowing that you have a guy named Victor Wembanyama who's 7'6", waiting in the paint, and there's a force field of like 6 feet around the rim that he's going to have to kind of create and then do stuff in the mid-range. It was a good plan. It really obviously threw the Thunder off of what they wanted to do offensively. Now it's about trying to find another way of finding somebody else. It would go a long way if Jared McCain tonight could be somebody that could get a little bit of offensive rhythm and be the first drive, the first guy that gets a foot in the paint and then can kick out. Because there's guys like Caruso who on a second attack have no problem doing that, but he's not necessarily the guy that you want initiating the offense at the top of the key. So if they can get that, that'll go help.
It's almost like SGA is having to learn to readjust again, because you go to those first couple of series, he was obviously the head of the snake. All the teams were like, we got to get SGA, and then all of a sudden you have these role players, bench players coming in, and then you get to game 4 where injuries are an especially a big factor. You're forced to go to some of these bench players earlier, and all of a sudden the focus is just back on Shea, so having to work around that again. But yeah, like you said, I imagine much sharper.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's a 2-time NBA Most Valuable Player. I think he's going to respond in a big way. Also, 4 straight first-team All-NBA selections. There's going to be a lot on his shoulders tonight. Speaking of All-NBA selections, Chet Holmgren made his first All-NBA team. He was 3rd-team All-NBA. They're going to need much more out of Chet Holmgren, which we will discuss on the other side of the break. You're watching a special edition of The End Zone. Tonight it's Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs tied at 2 games apiece. We've got to have a conversation about Chet Holmgren, but before we do that, a look at the Thunder forecast.
Thanks, guys. We are looking at a decent forecast for us as long as some of these little spotty showers and storms are able to stay away from us. Right now, we've been doing just that, as you can see from our downtown camera overlooking the Paycom Center. Temperatures right now are running in the generally upper 70s to low middle 80s, but you can see there's a couple little spots that are cooler on the mesonet, primarily thanks to the fact that we have these little popcorn showers and storms that are out there. If you find yourself underneath one, as you can see, a decent amount of rain could be possible over a course of like a half hour or so. You can easily pick up about a quarter to a half an inch worth of rain. So it's been animating through our radar over the past few hours. You can see that we've got more just scattered showers and storms popping up on the radar. Technically, though, the metro has been pretty dry right now. A lot of those have been staying either to our east or to more of our west, and so we'll keep hoping that that trend will continue. However, if we do find ourselves underneath a little shower storm later on this evening, it would not last for very long, but a brief localized heavy downpour could be possible. And that's the reason why I've got these low-end chances for showers and storms for the remainder of our evening. If you're going down to Thunder Up in the Park, or if you're actually going to be going to the game, temperatures at that point will be still likely in the upper 70s to low 80s out there. So very mild temperatures are expected with those spotty showers and storms. So again, animating through our future cast, this is just a model. Not saying it's going to look exactly like this, but as we go later on into the night tonight, our chance for showers and storms look to diminish at least a little bit. A lot of us, I think, will be dry. There will be a couple of showers and storms kind of floating around out there, but I think, though, that overall we're looking at a drier night for tonight. However, going later on into tomorrow morning, we then pick up the pace with some of those showers and storms. So you'll notice, though, that this evening into tonight, we've still got a fairly widespread chance for storms, especially across more of western Oklahoma. But like I said, the overall kind of trend will be a little bit of a downward trend, at least for a couple hours overnight tonight. But by tomorrow, that chance looks to pick back up again, with temperatures still in the upper 70s and low 80s. So scattered showers and storms remain in our forecast for tonight. A little bit more of a heavier chance of rain is possible for our day tomorrow. We'll talk about that, plus also a few more opportunities for some storm chances going into the weekend. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Jack Gerfin with a Thunder forecast. So Chet Holmgren is a focal point, I think, going into Game 5. He struggled throughout this series. He talked after the Game 4 loss about his impact so far through Game 4.
No matter what I do out there, I always, expect more from myself, expect better, and I can see a lot of opportunities in the game where I have to be better and take advantage of, and I'm going to do everything I can to do that.
He's obviously got to be more impactful to this Thunder team, especially if they don't have A.J. Mitchell and Jalen Williams going forward, whether that's through the Western Conference Finals or onto the NBA Finals. SGA and Mark Daigneault discussed how they can get him more involved in the offense.
Yeah, I mean, Chet's an easy target to find, so probably just like find him more in the dunker or when he's spacing. Just put him in better positions to use his strengths as an offensive talent. I don't know exactly what that looks like, just because I just got done playing, but watching film, we'll find ways for sure.
We went to him a little bit at different times, but I just thought the overall, like the global approach offensively tonight, didn't benefit anybody. It was more of a 5-man issue, and us holistically. And again, San Antonio playing really good defense, a combination of us not being as sharp as we could have been and San Antonio being really good. But I don't know what I could have called tonight that would have changed it. It was more of like a global approach / San Antonio.
There you go. That's the Thunder. The long pause from SGA still has me chuckling a little bit. I feel like maybe I could fill in some of the blanks, but I'll let you guys fill in the blanks first. How do you get Chet more involved? And is it more about the Thunder getting him involved, or how much of that is just on Chet playing a more physical, aggressive brand of basketball?
He definitely is a guy that at times it feels like he kind of gets lost in the shuffle or doesn't assert himself as much as he needs to. But commenting on that Shea thing also, if you've ever been in a press conference, that doesn't look great the way that he answered that about Chet, but that's also kind of the way that he always answers questions. He has long pauses, so it's not as bad as maybe that would make you think initially. But he definitely needs to be more aggressive out there because he has not been good. I mean, going into the season, like we said, he's third team All-NBA. He was averaging 18 and 9 during the regular season. His career playoff numbers are just about that as well. In this series right now, he's averaging 11 and 6. So he's kind of fallen off a cliff a little bit. All of his shooting percentages are down, like literally across the board on all of his statistics. It hasn't been as impactful. And conversely, on the other side, everything for Victor Wembanyama right now is up from where his averages were in the season. He's averaging 35 and 17. So not only are you not helping the team out where you normally would offensively, you're giving up a lot to a guy. I know he's not guarding him primarily the entire time, but their best player at the similar position is having a great series against you. Hasn't looked good for him.
The evolution or lack of right now for Chet in this series has been very interesting to watch because you had that first game where I think maybe there was a little bit of the Wemby pressure in there that was getting in his head. He has a terrible game. They show the shot of him on the bench and he just looks angry as can be. You think you're going to get this like amazing performance the next game. That doesn't happen again. And then at this point, I do think it maybe has shifted into just a Chet versus Chet thing. I think there's a confidence issue going on, but in terms of how the Thunder get him involved, I think it was game 2 where SGA ended up just picking up the speed of the play and like forcing it to him and eliminating the opportunity for Chet to hesitate. So maybe he needs just a couple of big series like that to just remember who he is. And but yeah, it's got to be a lot better.
Yeah, I feel like he has a confidence issue, and you know, Wemby has risen to match what this series is calling from him. Chet has done the opposite. He's not even been matched up with Wemby a ton. I mean, he's getting outplayed by guards in a lot of situations, like Harper and Castle and Vassell. All those guys are getting matched up on Chet for rebounds, and they're either tipping the ball away from him or at least not letting him get the rebound. There have been many times where he gets the ball late in the shot clock and they don't even allow, a guard doesn't even allow a 7-footer to get a shot off. He's just got to be more decisive with what he's doing. He's got to be more aggressive. And I think there are things maybe you can do within the offense, but none of it matters if he doesn't step it up and doesn't play at another level in another gear. I mean, it's the Western Conference Finals. You can't keep playing in the same gear that you've been playing in. You have to rise to the occasion as well. So I think for as much as we can talk about X's and O's, it starts with Chet. I think getting the engine going and getting it revved up to even, you know, get off the ground. But he's going to have to play a big role for this Thunder team in this best-of-3 series now, especially if we're looking at no Jalen Williams and no A.J. Mitchell the rest of the way. All right, that is Spencer Tillis and Cameron Johnson. I am Colby Daniels. We have a whiteout inside the Paycom Center. It's my favorite look. We'll show you the T-shirts and talk about the environment next here on a special edition of The End Zone. All right, welcome back to a special edition of The End Zone. I'm Colby Daniels, along with Cameron Johnson and Spencer Tillis. It has been the blue out inside the Paycom Center throughout this postseason. We've had, I think, one of the checkered looks, blue, white, blue, white. My personal favorite look is the white out, and I'm glad they sort of reserve it for special occasions like Game 5 tonight, but I am pumped for the white out. I think it looks great, both inside the arena and on camera, and I'm pretty impressed with the playoff shirts for Game 5 tonight as well. What's the overall rating for the playoff shirt tonight?
They're clean. These are really nice. Actually, really, compared to some of the other giveaways that you see for some of the shirts, especially across the league, these ones are not bad at all.
No.
If you're coming, this is a good get right here.
Every once in a while, you get people complaining about the design, and I'm like, look, it's a free T-shirt. How much can you really complain? But in terms of designs, I think this is one of the better designs that we've seen.
I would agree. I mean, like, I'm a free T-shirt person all the way, so I'm never going to complain. But I haven't seen the whiteout yet, so I'm looking forward to taking that all in. We've slowly worked our way from, it was the blue out to then you got the stripes, and then we fully committed to it. So I'm excited to see it in full force.
Yeah, it's going to be big time. I think the atmosphere also is going to be big time. I mean, it's always big time. I guess I don't want to sell the OKC fans short. It's always big time. But I felt like the 2 Game 5s that we went through last year against Denver and Indiana, I mean, the hour leading up to tip-off was insanely awesome, and you could just feel the energy. Now, the team has to give fans something to cheer about once the game starts, but the energy inside the Paycom Center was insane, and I expect that to be the same thing tonight. All right, we'll be back with a Western Conference version of The End Zone. welcome back. Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals tonight. We are about 2 hours away from tip-off. I'm Colby Daniels, along with Cameron Johnson and Spencer Tillis. Game 5 winners, when a series is tied 2-2, go on to win the series 82% of the time. That's not a guarantee tonight, but if you're a Thunder fan, you got to feel really good if you're able to get through this one, and you're only looking for one more. But this Game 5, I feel like, is going to be maybe the most intense of all the games that have been played so far. It's been a great series to this point. It is delivered, I think, in every way imaginable. This was viewed as, a lot of people called this the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
The New York Knicks will have something to say about that, but I think it has absolutely lived up to every bit of the hype.
Yeah, I think everyone came in expecting these were the two best teams in the league and that it was going to be a battle from the start. It's been a little bit of a war of attrition.
Yeah.
We've watched as both teams have kind of lost some guys along the way, but it's lived up to it, having the Stars play the way that they have, kind of going back and forth. It feels like one of those things that maybe this has got 7 games written all over it. We'll see, how the next 2 go, but it has been a great series at this point.
You got double overtime. You've got a blowout win at games that have come down to the wire. I mean, it's got everything, like you said, that you could want. And, the only thing, you wish that both teams could be fully healthy to see them at their full potential. But, I mean, it's still been one heck of a series to watch and a very entertaining one.
And it's got bad blood, right? It feels
Yeah.
like these teams do not like each other. I know, at least based on my social media timeline, the two fan bases have grown to hate each other as well. I mean, that's what you want, I think, in a Western Conference Finals or an NBA Finals. A lot of people didn't want to call this a rivalry back in the regular season when San Antonio had their way with the Thunder for the most part. I said it's a rivalry. I think this kind of punctuates it. We're looking at potentially the two dominant forces in the NBA over the next 5 years. Whoever wins this series obviously is going to be looked at as the team that might control the NBA for that period of time. But I wouldn't at all be surprised over the next 5 years if we see these two teams taking turns, winning series and potentially championships.
Yeah, that's the best part about this series is you feel like when you look at how young both rosters are, how much these guys are locked up for the next few years, like the way the contracts are constructed. These teams, this is not going to be the last time that they run into each other in the playoffs. It's going to happen over and over again, and the rivalry is only going to grow and get better and better. And that's something that really, it's kind of felt like the league has been missing, maybe since like the Cavaliers going up against the Warriors. There hasn't been those two teams that kind of have gone back and forth and traded a little bit. And that's one of the better things of the league. It's kind of one of the things that it was founded on as from the very beginning. So if it's able to evolve into, I think, what most people think it has the opportunity of being, it's going to be great for the fans, it's going to be great for the league, and it's going to be a joy to watch.
You said it. I feel like we are in a time where the rivalry has been lacking, and I would say across a lot of professional sports. But to bring in something like this, where you also have a guy like Victor Wembanyama who clearly cares about the game. He takes things that maybe some players, like an all-star game, for instance, he takes it like he's all in on it. And I think to have that kind of energy between the players, let alone the teams, and then you throw in the history of it and just how good both squads are. I mean, this is what you want if you're a fan.
And you have two teams that just leave it all on the floor, play as hard as you could possibly imagine, which leaves everybody to believe that, the other team is dirty and your team is just, a bunch of hard-working, good guys. I absolutely love it. I can't wait for Game 5 tonight. If the Thunder are going to get it done, the bench is going to have to play a big role. Bench scored 76 points in Game 3. They were outstanding. They've really been great in games 1, 2, and 3. Not so much in Game 4. They ended up with 36 points in Game 4, or 34 points in Game 4. 16 of that, I believe, was in the fourth quarter when the white flag had been waved. But Jared McCain, Jalen Williams, Alex Caruso, those guys were so good in that first game in San Antonio. They're going to have to bounce back, and you would expect maybe Kenrich Williams, Aaron Wiggins to play a bigger role once again if they are shorthanded.
I think part of the bench's struggle turns in the fact that you're missing two guys that were starters right there, so a few key pieces off the bench now become starters, and your bench gets a little bit thinner because of it. But yeah, like Jared McCain is the guy that I look at that has to have a big night because they don't have too many other players other than SJ that can create offense, and if they're going to get right, he needs to be a guy that can at least get into the paint and start the offense and kind of release some of the pressure because they're going to be throwing everything but the kitchen sink at Shea again tonight, and he needs to be a guy that can at least give them some of the pressure, give them a little bit of a release valve, and if he can continue to shoot kind of the way that he has throughout this entire playoffs, that's extra on top of everything else. But he's a guy that I look at that needs to have a good night.
It was a strange game to watch coming off the previous games before that. You know, granted, like you said, a lot of these bench players had to get moved up into a starting role because of injuries. But you look at how Alex Caruso was playing, for instance, was getting up to 29 points consistently in that area for the most part. Then he has 0 points, only attempted 1 shot. And of course, I mean, Jared McCain, I agree with you. He's kind of one of those spark plug players that's similar to Caruso and what he brings off the bench. I just think it was a weird night all around, so I don't anticipate seeing that kind of performance for the bench again, but how good they perform, like you said, is going to be key, especially with how they're going to lock down Shea.
Caruso's scoring in this series has been incredible, but his real impact is just, I think, effort, plays, and defense for the most part. What he brings, though, I think, has been reciprocated from McCain on the offensive end in this series. He's been the offensive Caruso, so to speak, where he just brings that charge and seems to elevate everybody's energy on the floor on the offensive end when he's come in the game. If they don't, A.J. Mitchell is out. If J-Dub is not able to play tonight as well, you know, you're going to have to find other shot creators. That means more for Jared McCain. That means more for Alex Caruso. You're going to have to run through the bigs. I mean, Isaiah Hartenstein has been a guy they've been able to run offense through. If they don't have those guys, the Thunder talked about, you know, what the offense looks like and the offensive plan against this very physical San Antonio defense.
Yeah, it changes things. Play through the bigs a little bit more. Yeah, and I mean, guys have different strengths out there, and like you said, 2 of our handler creators are out, but guys are good off the ball, and we've played a fair amount of games this year with no handlers, so we'll be a little bit used to that. But I mean, regardless, I think it's just a snowball effect. I think when you come out with the right energy, things like that work out, and the offense has flow. And I don't think we came out with the right energy today. And then, like I just said, just trickled down. And then we were stagnant, both ends. They were the aggressor. They were forcing turnovers. It's easy to blame the offense, but to me, it always starts with the energy and effort you put forth.
I said at the beginning of this pregame show, the I guess theme of this series has been physicality. There are a couple other words that kind of describe the same thing: aggressiveness, energy, focus. If you've noticed a theme every time they've talked about anything, it all kind of falls back to they didn't play with the right energy in Game 4. They didn't have the right focus in Game 4, didn't play with enough physicality, didn't play with enough aggressiveness. Regardless of what the issue has been, whether it's been, you know, other shot creators or Chet or, you know, anything, it all falls back to, I think, that point, and you would expect on their home floor in a series where they just come off that blowout loss, that's going to be at a much better place.
Yeah, I think when people think about physicality in basketball, they think it's only associated with defense. There's definitely a way of playing basketball as a physical type
100%.
and they need to get back to that. It's winning at the point. It's using your angles. It's using your shoulders in order to get angles down into the paint. And they were playing a little bit on their heels, and it showed on both ends of the court. You have to be able to have the few guys that bring the energy. As you mentioned, Caruso's a guy that typically brings that no matter what the stake is, no matter what the score is on defense. They need a couple more guys to step up and make a few plays and play with that aggression. Now, it's going to lead to some mistakes every now and then, but those are the mistakes that you'd much rather live with than the mistakes where you're playing on your heels.
And it all comes down to the mentality of it. As soon as you lose the mental battle, I mean, you might still be able to pull something off if you're just, you know, a clearly better team. But as most of the times, once you are down and out mentally, and not saying this is how they were, but it's hard to come back from that. And I do think, as you pointed out, it was just on your heels, reacting as opposed to anticipating, and so it was just a very unusual performance.
Yeah, well, and that's where you expect the playoff experience to play a huge factor, their ability to bounce back after that loss and show up with all the right elements for Game 5. It also doesn't help that when they did have open shots, they didn't go down. 6 of 33 from 3, by far their worst three-point percentage of the entire postseason, and obviously 82 points is a playoff low for this postseason run. We expect a big bounce-back performance tonight. Should be another slugfest. Along with Spencer Tillis and Cameron Johnson, I'm Colby Daniels. We have a Thunder forecast, and the Thunder talk about that bounce-back ability on the other side of the break. As we approach tip-off for Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals, let's send it over to Jack Gerfin with a Thunder forecast.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, we are still eyeing some of those scattered showers and storms that are out there right now. As you can see, looking at the Paycom Center, we're good right now. Some of these showers and storms are getting a little close to the metro, but even still, if we do find ourselves underneath one of these showers or storms, it would just be briefly passing us by, and so it's not going to be lasting for a long time, but some briefly heavy downpours could be possible. Temperatures, as a result of some of those rain showers, bring them down into the 70s in the mesonet, where a lot of us that are dry are still in the low and middle 80s. And so, as you're noticing, our mesonet is beginning to becoming a bit more pocketed with some of these little rainfall totals from these spotty showers and storms. Again, animating through our radar, they've been widely scattered throughout the afternoon, and they'll continue to be that case over the course of the next couple hours. Still kind of eyeing, again, most of the activity has been either to the west of the metro or to the east of the metro. So we've kind of been in this little bit of a gap there. Hopefully we can keep that going. But I do think, though, that as we go into the night tonight, we'll still keep the chance for some showers and storms out there. But I think, though, that will be coming a little bit more dry, except for on the west side of the state. That chance looks to be a little bit higher over there overnight tonight. But as you can see, for our forecast downtown, most of us are going to be in the 80s for the next few hours, falling into the 70s and staying pretty muggy as well. Again, animating through our futurecast, we're continuing to keep an eye out for these storms passing on through. If our model is to be believed, and we're doing a good job with it so far, we might actually stay dry for the remainder here of the evening here in the metro area. So if we can do that, that would be great for all the fans that are coming out into town. However, as we go on into the overnight hours, you're still noticing more lingering showers and storms across more of the western side of the state. So I think that's going to be a bit more of a heavier concentration kind of there and then farther to the west overnight tonight, where lows will be in the low and middle 60s for a lot of the area. And I think we are looking at a bit more widespread showers and storms in our forecast for tomorrow. So we'll see these temperatures kind of hanging around in the upper 70s and low 80s for tomorrow. So we continue to have these scattered showers and storms into tonight, maybe a little bit more heavier rain and storms possible for a Wednesday. And as we head on into the remainder of our forecast, we keep these low end chance for showers and storms going into the weekend and early next week. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Jack. We are less than 2 hours away from tip-off for Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. Series tied at 2 games each. Thunder have been in this position before, obviously twice last postseason. They were tied at 2 games apiece with Denver, came back home for Game 5, which was one of the all-time classic environments, I think, in OKC. Game 7 was good of that series as well, but there was, I think, more nervous energy before Game 7 where you know the season's on the line. Game 5 is like, you could lose and it's not over, but there's just more excitement maybe without the nerves for a Game 5. The Thunder, having been in this situation before, talked about being tied at 2-2, coming back home for Game 5, and what is needed.
It starts with our focus, like our attention to detail, and our just how hard we play. Those two things. Like I think if we do that, we'll give ourselves the best shot.
Yeah, I think we get some wisdom there, obviously, and even from these playoffs, I mean, there's a reason we talk about getting to 0 every game. We played great the other night, and in Game 2, you know, we went and earned those 2 wins, and none of that carried over tonight, and nothing from tonight will carry over in Game 5.
Game 5 tonight, San Antonio started fast in Game 3, and then it was a Thunder avalanche basically the rest of the way. It was pretty much all Spurs. I'm curious to see what the start is going to look like. Will the Thunder match San Antonio's intensity out of the gate, or will it be San Antonio once again making all the big plays, the splash plays, so to speak, when this thing eventually tips off?
In most of these games, it has felt like the Spurs have controlled the first 5-6 minutes coming out. And then after that, at what point it feels like the Thunder kind of settle in, and then it kind of goes a little bit back and forth for a lot of them. If they can actually start a game a little bit better with some energy and kind of use that home crowd, it'll go a long way, because you don't want to find yourself behind the 8 ball here to start off like they have in a couple of these games, because it can snowball like it did in Game 4. So they definitely want to come out and have a little bit of energy. They're going to get it from the home crowd, so hopefully they play a little bit better here to jump.
It's hard for me to imagine another start like San Antonio. It's not hard to imagine, but due to the urgency of it all, I would not be surprised one bit if the Thunder just come out and make an instant impact. Now, whether or not it's, you know, a San Antonio style start and they go up by double digits, I don't know about that, but I think that the Thunder, knowing the importance of this game, not wanting to go into San Antonio down, they're going to come out knowing they have to send a message.
Yeah, they've got to start fast, and I think you have this young Spurs team that's never been in this situation before. I mean, you got to put them in situations they've never been in. And you got to continue to do that over and over, make them face adversity, make them sort of discover their path like the Thunder had to a couple years ago. And part of that, I think, is being this late into a series and making them, have to earn it on the road. We kind of thought maybe fatigue was starting to play a factor toward the end of Game 3. We knew that San Antonio was going to come out with a ton of urgency in Game 4, and if you could survive that, maybe you could start to squeeze more life out of them. They didn't survive it, and San Antonio ran away with Game 4. But if you can get the crowd into this thing, get a fast start, and maybe put San Antonio on the ropes, how do they respond? They might be able to respond, but we just don't know. We haven't seen them. They're so young that you don't want to give them any extra confidence than they already have, and they absolutely believe they can win this series. Victor Wembanyama has been terrific in this series. Outside of Game 1, I would argue the Thunder have done about as well as you can expect defending him. And when you look at really the overall team production, I think the defense has been in a pretty good spot.
Certainly Game 2 and 3 they did. He did a little bit better. I think he made a few adjustments there in Game 4. But it's about throwing bys. If they are able to force him a little bit away from the key, and at times he falls in love with shooting threes, at times he falls in love with being a little bit of a playmaker from the outside. And it's like, you are 7'6". You are the biggest guy on the court at some point if you can get on the paint. He finds so much success down there. And in this postseason run, the Spurs are undefeated when he gets to at least 20 points. So it's one of those things that if he can get it going offensively, he changes the ceiling for San Antonio.
Yeah.
So if the Thunder are able to continue to kind of force him to play a little bit further out from the basket and take some of those more contested shots, it goes a long way in their favor.
Yeah, and you saw it take that immediate impact whenever Isaiah Hartenstein came out. I think it was in Game 2, and just did a much better job of playing physical. Some would say too physical, but I mean, kind of in the same way that defenses have had to adjust to Shea, Oklahoma City has had to adjust to Wembanyama, as you would expect. But I think that they have he's still a great player at the end of the day, and there's just some stuff you can't avoid. Like you said, he is 7'6", and he might dunk on you, he might block your shot. But other than that, controlling the controllable where you can goes a long way. Game
1 was an all-time performance from him. They've been able to keep him from at least having an iconic performance the rest of the way. And even Game 4 that they lost, I mean, he hits the half-court shot, to put them at 50. I mean, if you give 50 points to the San Antonio Spurs in a half, you're going to feel good about it. I think, San Antonio was up by 18, but it was 78 to 60. I mean, through 3 quarters, if you're giving up 78 points to San Antonio, I think you also take that. So overall, I think they've done a good job. Collectively, they've not let anybody else really beat them consistently. Victor's going to get some. You're not going to shut him out, but you don't want him having those 40-20 games like he had in Game number 1. All right, we'll take one more time out as we inch closer to the start of Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. Final thoughts on tonight and Game 5 predictions next here on a special edition of The End Zone. Pivotal Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals tonight. Thunder and Spurs tied at 2 games apiece. Winner of Game 5 goes on to win the series 82% of the time. So not to say that it's a foregone conclusion, but you got to like the winner's chances, whoever that might be tonight. Spencer, final thoughts on what we see tonight in your prediction?
I think the home crowd and the energy is going to be a big, huge deciding factor in this. I think you're going to see an inspired and a bit of a desperate OKC team, knowing that you don't want to go on the road down. And so I think you're going to see a better start. I think you're going to see them kind of get a little bit out to a start of a good cushion. And I think they're going to ride that wave a little bit to the finish.
Desperate is the word that stands out there. I mean, it's not technically a must-win game, but it feels like it because you go into San Antonio down a game, especially how that home crowd was. Your back's against the wall. You have to just be a lot better. And I think the fans are going to be a huge part of willing Oklahoma City in the times where they may be lacking energy. But I think overall we're going to see a much more well-rounded version of the Thunder tonight.
Without 2 of your big stars, you're going to need your MVP to play like an MVP. That doesn't necessarily mean he has to score 40, but he's just got to, I think, handle the pressure the right way, not turn the ball over, make the right passes, get to his spots, make the shots when they're available. And you got to have a much better performance out of Chet Holmgren. Ultimately, I don't want to oversimplify this, but you just got to play more aggressive and physical than San Antonio, and I think that is the X factor. If you come out aggressively, I think ultimately that means a Thunder win. I think that's what we'll see tonight, and we're talking about Game 6 potentially being a clincher for the Western Conference Finals. For Spencer Tillis and Cameron Johnson, I am Colby Daniels. We are inching closer to Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. We'll break it all down after the game.